Good afternoon. Welcome back. This is Your Health Matters. My name is Karl Sterling. With me today is my right-hand person, Elizabeth Bruce. How you doing?
Well, thank you.
That was a fun last hour, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. He's a very nice man, and I learned a little bit.
Yeah, he's a true gentleman, a really nice guy. A lot of wisdom, knowledge, experience, and very creative. I love what he's doing.
Yeah.
And so you may have received an email saying this is our last broadcast. It is for this month.
For this month. Yeah.
I wasn't lying. I really just wanted to pique some curiosity because I do have some things I want to share in this hour, which might rile some feathers, and I don't think I'm going to get pulled off the air. I'm not that kind of a guy. The last thing I ever want to do is offend anybody, hurt anyone's feelings, because I don't work like that. This is not how I work. Although occasionally there are people who maybe they misconstrue what I say, and, it happens to all of us. So if you're one of those people, I want to tell you, you're welcome to contact me, 315-935-7488, and we'll talk. And this really starts with a thing that I want to, let's say, share. We've talked about it before. Gratitude. And this next hour is really going to be a stream of consciousness somewhat. I am going to flow through some notes. I am going to bob and weave through subject matter. I'm going to hit on some things that really are bothering me. And I know they're bothering a lot of you as well. But my first question is, and I say all of this, everybody, everything I'm saying, I say with love for humanity and respect to you. Are you glad you woke up today? I'm very, very grateful I woke up. I never want to really get out of bed, but I always am grateful that I've woken up another day. Another question, this is really morbid. Would you rather be dead? I don't want to be dead. Not yet. I have so much living to do. I have missions. I have to help people. So if you're glad you woke up, and I look at it as one of these things like I have the opportunity to open my eyes, see the world, and live another day. Hopefully I get through the whole day, right? And like a piano doesn't fall out of the sky and land on me and kill me, or anything else that's probably more normal. I get through another day. I got through yesterday. I made it to this point in my life. Well, I feel truly blessed and truly grateful for this. If you're glad you woke up, I'm curious to know, do you ever think about how you're going to go about your day? How will you go through your day? Well, what do I mean by this? I mean, what choices will you make? What decisions are you going to make today? Are they based on you? And that can be fine. It could be you're going to go to the gym, you're going to go for a walk, you're going to eat well. Or is it more of a self-serving, narcissistic type of approach? Serving yourself, putting yourself above others? I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it could be. There are a lot of people like that out there. Yeah, because what you do, the decisions you make, affects all those around you. It could affect, depending upon what you do, where you are, your position of power. Let's say if you're in a political, holding political office or something like that, it could have a tremendous effect on people you don't even know. But one thing we do know is that the day will come, no matter how great you are, and I'm not saying you think you're great. And what is great? That's really subjective. I'm just saying. The leveler of all greatness will come upon us. That's the day you die. It's going to happen. I said it before, I'll say it again. On the day that is your last day, and let's say you just sort of know it's your last day or one of your last days, how are you going to be feeling? looking back. My mother knew when her last days were, and I'll talk about her more this hour. And I was with her all day, every day, those last days. And I was thinking, I wonder how she's feeling. We talked about all that stuff. So, how will you feel? How will you really feel? Let's just say that maybe you have lived a life of truly serving God and other people, humanity. That's beautiful. That's my goal. First 51, 52 years of my life, I did all the wrong things. I got a lot of making up to do right now, and I'm doing it. And I'm going to live this way the rest of my life. But what about those people who never really get it together like that, and they're living in a state of narcissism? Because they're out there. They're out there. You going to take your delusions of narcissism and your grandeur to the grave with you? Are you that great? I don't know. It's not for me to decide. I can't judge. I'm not God. But I know this. I always go into every situation with the intention of treating other people as equals or greater than me, and never, ever put myself above anyone. I'm not always the easiest person to get along with. And some of you already know that. Well, I haven't figured everything out yet in life, but that is a truth, and I'm working on it. One thing I'd like to get from you, though, because I am going to tell you this, folks, when Elizabeth doesn't even know this. I don't know how much longer we will be doing this show. I really hope it's for years. Your feedback is important to me because I'd like to know if you're listening. Because based on what I see about 80, 90% of the time, I think what we talk about is falling on deaf ears. You know, no one's coming to save you. I mean, you know, if you're a Christian, Jesus could come and save you. But let's talk about health-wise, yeah. No one's coming to save you, folks. That's the next segment after the break that we're going to talk about. I feel that much of what I say is falling on deaf ears, and here's why. So many of you aren't doing a darn thing about living better, eating better, making all kinds of excuses. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't go to the gym. Oh, I don't have time for a walk. Oh, this, oh, that, oh, whatever. I'm just so sick of hearing it. And it actually makes me angry sometimes. And it's not worth it because, you know, I'm trying to live my life, and it's not worth giving anyone the power of me being angry because of them. Then they have power over me. They don't even know I have, that they have. And it's just the most ridiculous, stupid thing in the world. It's pathetic. So we're going to go to our first break. When we come back, we're going to discuss why it is no one's coming to save you, and you have to save yourself, health-wise. You are responsible for you. Period. End of story. This is Your Health Matters News Radio 570 WSYR. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. No one is coming to save you, my friends. Nobody. Okay? You are responsible for your health. Donald Trump doesn't care about you. He's not going to save you. Now, I'll give it to his credit. He wants to make America healthy again. Yeah, I'm so glad that he's taken that path. But Maha, make America healthy again, RFK Jr., you know, even Dr. McCary, who we know personally, well, I do, their intentions are good. But if they're lucky in the next 4 years, they'll put a tiny dent in what's going on. And it'd be a wonderful dent because we need this dent so bad. And then maybe over the next couple of decades, it'll get back to something reasonably, not so much crap in the foods. But your doctor, probably, Donald Trump, RFK, McCary, whoever, they're not coming to get you and make you healthy. Your health is your responsibility. If you want to carry on a legacy, let's say, I don't care about creating a legacy in memory of me, and to me that's just narcissistic egotism. But if you're after a legacy, how about autonomy? Will you grasp on to the idea of eating right, moving more, train your body, train your brain, live a good quality life, be nice to others, show love and compassion to humanity, treat others with respect, dignity, and love. Teach that to your downline, your kids, your grandkids. Well, that's going to be good. It's your responsibility to take care of yourself. You see, next week we have a special guest named Dr. Georgia Eady. She wrote a book called Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind. Are you familiar with her? Did you?
Nope, I don't know anything except what you told me.
I think she was on Peter Attia's show recently, or Huberman, one of those two. It's one of the big shows. And then she eagerly said yes to joining us, and I couldn't believe it. So she's going to join us for the full 2 hours next week. And she's talking about changing your mind in relation to when you change your diet, you change your brain health. But that's going to be the last live show we do in regards to nutrition for a while. And here's why. We've already talked about all this stuff till we're blue in the face, and I pay money to do this show, and I'm done spending money on teaching you how to eat because you should know by now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting forky. But it's true. You should know enough. The food isn't the problem. It's your choices that are making the problem. So if you choose the wrong food, then the food's the problem. But really, it comes down to your choices if you know what to choose to eat. Your choices are the problem. We've had a couple dozen food experts, MDs, best-selling authors, researchers, and you have to know this stuff by now. So then we enter into another thing. I had a wonderful conversation with two of our favorite people. I won't say last names, but Karl and Rosemary, last Tuesday. Probably for like a good half hour, 45 minutes. I don't know. Rosemary, if you hear us, thank you for the beautiful card. It just means the world to me. We absolutely love you. Karl, we love you too so much. And we're talking about what keeps us going. Do you have anything that keeps you going? Like as far as, because you're good. Most of the time, more than me, you're on track with your exercise and you snack really well at work too. You eat all those veggies.
Yeah, I know. I try.
What keeps you going?
What keeps me going?
Why do you do it?
I have two beautiful children that I love dearly. I have a wonderful family, brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews that I want to keep seeing. I want to be there for. I'm there for my family members, whether they speak to me or not. And I'm sorry for anything that I've done to upset my family members. I'm not perfect. My friends and family and our clients, I love our clients like a family. They have become my family.
Yeah.
And what I have to say, in addition to, Trent said something about the eyes, how important they are to your movement. Well, also what you see with your eyes, what you read, what you watch on television, what you listen to on the radio. Well, that's ears, but that affects who you are too. And I've been told that many, many times in my life that, what you see on television, what you read affects who you are as a person. If you see negativity, okay, I'm not going to get into
the situation 2 days ago.
Yeah, I'm not going to. But the political situation, there is a lot of people that are upset about the pardons that President Trump has done, and one of the women did not accept the pardon, which
a woman who didn't accept the pardon.
But she took responsibility. She said she was in mom mentality, and she took the responsibility for what she did, and she refused the pardon. Because she says, I served my days. Well, what she saw was getting inside her, making her upset, causing her mind to change, and she did something wrong. And she admitted to it.
You told me earlier, you accept the pardon, you accept your guilt to go with it.
Oh, that was just said by one of the court systems.
Yeah. Oh, the Supreme Court.
Yeah, the Supreme Court.
Yeah, they finally did a couple things right the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, they said that, and one of our friends at the clinic has told us that too. If you
our
accept,
lawyer friend,
if you accept the pardon, you're accepting the guilt. So there is, and they cannot plead the fifth if they ever are brought to trial. So there is a rainbow of help into all that. But you do have responsibility for who you are by what you watch, what you eat. It affects you.
Yeah.
And what you listen to.
So we're going to get into the blame game stuff after the bottom of the hour news. But right now, sort of in keeping with that, but a slight shift. I ask again, how bad do you want it? Your last day, you look back, shoulda exercised well, shoulda gone for those walks, shoulda eaten better, shouldn't have eaten the stuff, but I chose differently. Well, I'm sorry. I know there are things that come up that are out of your control, and we understand this, but most of us are making ourselves sick. Let's just face it, it's how it is. Okay? I mean, I was sick, but I got over my COPD, my high blood sugar, my autoimmune stuff, my asthma. I mean, and then there's like diabetes. People get over this stuff. You just change your diet. It usually helps. It's inflammation-based, a lot of it. I'm not a doctor. Go talk to your doctor about this. But if you don't get a good response, then you better get a different doctor because most of them aren't.
You still had to do the work, is what you're
saying. Oh, yeah, I had to do the work.
They pointed you in the right direction, and you had to do the work.
Yeah, I went from blowing like 30-something% oxygen diffusion in my pulmonary test 3 years ago with COPD that I've had for years. And I was never a smoker. I just played in smoky bars as a drummer for decades. Thousands of gigs and tens of thousands of hours. Well, I reversed it.
Yes.
Yeah. As a four-step process. You want to know about it, you call me. If you want to, please give me your feedback on the show. Do you listen? Do you like it? Do you learn? Do you take action? Do you want to hear certain things? What would you like to learn about? Who do you want me to get on the show? I'm pretty well connected. I can get almost anybody. Almost.
Try to get anybody.
I'm pretty good at getting whoever I want.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Some are really tough, but text me, 315-935-7488. I want to hear. What are you doing? Do you listen to us? Do you do anything that we suggest or our guests suggest? I really want to know about this. Do you want us to keep doing the show? Because maybe you don't want us to do it. Maybe I just stop in a couple of weeks or I'll done forever. I'm serious about this too. I don't want to stop.
I know.
But, I could be with my grandchildren right now, right? I'm not saying that I don't love this. This is my favorite part of every week is doing this show. But, it's my decision. I spent a lot of freaking money to do this show. And the sponsorship doesn't cover it all. So I'm coming out of pocket. That's my decision because I care about you. Well, your immune system cares about you too. If you listen to it, it'll do you right. The truth about food costs too. I want you to know that eating McDonald's costs less, but it actually costs more.
Maybe not financially.
People going every day there because you're either going to invest now to be healthy or you're going to pay more later. And like, I don't know who said it. If you think eating healthy costs money, try being sick with some chronic disease. I have stats when we come back from the break. Okay. No one is going to save you. All right. So you got to save yourself. You got to do your own work. If you're not healthy, it didn't happen overnight. If you want to get healthy, that doesn't happen overnight either. It takes time. But I tell you what, folks, usually you can get healthier faster than you got unhealthy. And it's not rocket science, and we're here to help. I'd like to get more feedback. I have some texts that came in. Thank you, Jeanette. We love you. Just so you know. Thank you. You need to invest in you now. Exercise is free. You just get up and walk around if you can walk. Okay. If you can't, there's other things. Call me up. I got things I can send you to do in a chair. And it's free. All right, 315-935-7488. I'd love to get your feedback. I want my phone flooded with text messages or phone calls. I won't answer, but I will listen to messages. Exercise is free. Food can be reasonable. And I'm not going to tell you how right now. You should know how. We talked about it plenty of times. So with that being said, whose burden do you want to be down the road? Let's just talk about one thing. Let's talk about the fires out there. There's people who died in those fires out in Los Angeles area. Well, guess what? There are a couple people who died who didn't have enough muscle mass to get up out of a chair and make it fast enough away so they didn't burn up. And that's such a sad situation. Can you imagine being in a situation where you don't have enough muscle? Now, I have no idea. Maybe they had some kind of an issue, diagnosis, disease, whatever, that put them in that chair and they couldn't get up, can't get out, couldn't move well enough or fast enough. But I can tell you right now, there are also plenty of people out there who could have enough muscle mass, they choose not to do it. You want to have some escapability. What if you got to get out of the way of something? Fight or flight. Or you can't do the flight because you don't have the fight. You don't have enough muscle. It's an organ too. Muscles where metabolism happens. So it's our muscle longevity. Maybe you never have to get out of the way of anything. But just what if that one time comes and you do and you miss it and you're out? You're down, you're out, you're dead. You can't move anymore. You're going to assisted living, fall down, break a hip, break a femur, and the rest, you know what that is. It's always bad. Muscles, organ of longevity. Cardio's great too. Do both. I want to talk to you about a friend of mine. Her name's Laura. Laura Olmos. She's in Mexico. One of my closest friends. I've learned more from Laura and indirectly in a way from my mom and from my godmother, Teresa. If you're listening, we just love you with all our hearts. Learn more from these people than anyone in my life about living in the now. I learned it from my mom in one way. I learned it from my godmother in another way. I learned it from Laura in a direct way. Laura's 51. She'll be 52 this year. She looks like she's 35. She moves like she's 25. She's lived with Parkinson's, diagnosed at age 40, had symptoms for years before. Getting a proper diagnosis is not easy in the United States sometimes, and in Mexico too. Well, I've spent a lot of time with her. When I travel to Mexico, she's oftentimes with me, teaching, translating with me. She's very, very, very well known in the world of Parkinson's and movement disorders because she's the living, breathing example of what people need to be doing, whether they have Parkinson's or not. She's also taught me that she doesn't think she's going to have as much time on this earth as a lot of us are and she also has, she's had other health issues. Just recently she had something going on. It's in the hospital for a few days. She came out fine. Thank God. But you know what? She has two words of advice that I will pass along to you. The two words are these words. Just live. Here's my question. Are you living or are you existing? Because we can be alive, but not living. We can be alive and worrying constantly. And statistically, 90% of what we worry about never happens. We could be blaming people. We're going to get into the blame game thing here in a minute because I see this all over the place with narcissistic people. Twist the truth, make your own set of facts, blame others so you look better. I'm so sick and tired of this crap. It happened a couple days ago with somebody. I was about literally 10 seconds from getting up to ask him to leave and go away. And then he stood up and he left. It was great. We don't need people like that around who treat people, especially women in this case, with a very diminished tone, backhanded, underhanded, condescending remarks. I have no place for this in my clinic. And sadly, there are a lot of people like this around. They're in politics, they're in, medical world, they're in life. They're in life. And sadly, they're so busy worrying about themselves, making themselves look good, look right. How important is it to you to always be right? You have to make others look like they're wrong. Do you ever take responsibility for anything? I know that most of you do. I'm sorry. I sound like a real prick today. But I don't know if I can say that in the word, but it's not a swear word. I could prick my finger, I could be a prick. But I was just saying, sometimes it's just the way it is. You got to take responsibility for yourself. Laura takes responsibility. She fights Parkinson's daily. I've been with her when she's in an off period and that leg won't move right and her festering of her feet, shuffling, barely able to move. And what's she doing? She's out running for 2 hours at night. Running 5K, 10K, running for an hour. I mean, she's going out for 2 hours and I can't keep up with her. Or if you're listening, everybody loves you. We just adore you. You are the living, breathing example of what I believe, I strive to be. Because now, when my mom passed, and those days I had with her, now I know I told Laura the story about this recently, and we both cried. And I told Elizabeth knows the story too, and we've cried. When my mom was on her way out and she knew it, we had the best moments of my life with her. We had the best time together, the best 6 days, as I tear up right now. But I'm going to tell you right now, folks, between Laura telling me to just live and being the number one example of somebody who's fighting back. Now, I have other ones too. Andy, you listening, my friend?
Yeah.
Dude. Hey, dude, you listening, dude? There's another one. Okay, and John. I mean, we got some people out there, man. They're kicking your butts because they're working harder than a lot of you. And I'm going to say something that's probably going to really offend some people, but I'm taking it from Dr. Barry. A lot of people are just too lazy to even lift one butt cheek to pass gas. When I heard him say that last year, I laughed my butt off. I like, that is so true.
Yep.
It's pathetic. Pathetic. And you know why I can say this? I can say it because I used to be pathetic. I was a pathetic piece of you-know-what. Drinking my butt off, sucking right out of the bottle. The more it went on, the more I was drinking in the late morning, early afternoon. You had to start a little earlier every day, because you got to get the hair of the dog or whatever they call it. Pathetic. I was that, so I can easily feel free to say so many people are just pathetic. I'm tired of it. And then they're blaming their doctors, and they're blaming the government, and they're blaming the red dye number, whatever, and they're blaming the Fruit Loops and the Kellogg's and the whatever. This is not these people's problem. This is your problem. You know what to do, and you're not doing it. That's your problem. I'm tired of the blame game. Tired of it. Laura doesn't blame anybody for her Parkinson's. And he doesn't blame anything for his stuff that he's going through. I'm just trying to save his identity here because I don't know if he wants me to talk about him, but you know who you are if you hear me, dude. So these people, they're people who schlepped their feet into our place, barely walking, and they're early for their appointments, and while others have insomnia and they can't show up on time because it's such a drain. Well, you know what? Insomnia and Parkinson's go together, and half the people who come to see us are awake all night, and they show up early. Sick of the blame. I'm sick of people not taking responsibility. Hey, I'm actually in a really good mood, but I needed to get this off my chest. I'm tired of narcissism. I'm tired of people being jerks to others. I'm tired of people diminishing you, Elizabeth. Maybe Kyla, I don't know if you ever go through it. Have you ever felt diminished, Kyla? It's total BS, folks. And God forbid you try to diminish me. You got something you're going to deal with, and it's going to be like a tornado.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You did.
Yep.
It ended in a very beautiful way, in my opinion. If that person needed to hear those words,
I don't. I've done it 4 times in my life. I've stood up for myself like that when someone tries to diminish me and I find out about it. I just can't do it. I'm not better than anybody else.
it's total crap. No place for it in my clinic or in my life. So
Nobody's
you're
better.
listening to no. Uh, we have to go to break. You have the straightest line of integrity of anybody I know. So does Laura. So does our friend Andy. We'll be back right after this short break. No one is coming to save you, folks. Done with all these fancy, we're back and all that stuff. Let's get right to the meat and potatoes. Okay, so Carol, thanks for the text you sent to us. Son, I love it. Yeah, thank you. I feel so good. I had to get this stuff off my chest. Yeah, we had this whole thing about narcissism and the erosion of accountability. I could go on for 15 hours about that. But this is a problem.
It's killing our society, narcissism.
Yeah, it's all over the government.
And it's not even the government. It's entitled. It's everywhere, and everybody feels entitled lately, and it's terrible. I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
Oh no, it's fine. Let's talk about something, okay? I thought about this morning when we were having coffee, and I was thinking, the mass deportations have started. The Mexicans and whoever, most of them are from south of the border. They're in chains. They get walked on the planes. They get flown back. Okay. Well, I'm not saying that it's right, nor am I saying that it's wrong. But I'm going to say this. When you go to the store to buy your vegetables and stuff, and you don't see as many there, or the price is up, think about this. A lot of these undocumented Mexicans or others, they're actually paying taxes. Guess what else? They're picking your fruits. They're picking your vegetables. They're doing the cleaning. They're working. You know why? Because they work. What's going to happen when there's 14 million or whatever jobs open? Do you think they're going to get filled? No. You know why? Because people in this country, from this country, they don't want to work. They want to sit on their butts and get their entitled whatever because they're too lazy to get a butt cheek off the couch. You watch and see what happens, folks. Mark my words. I'm not saying I'm anti-Trump. I'm not saying I'm pro-Trump. Definitely not. But I am saying blanket pardons, including the guy who killed the cop who's now out on the streets. Yes, folks. My facts are correct. Prove me wrong, and then I'll admit it. Because I do admit stuff. You know why? I'm not a narcissist. And I don't blame and make excuses. I don't try to make you look wrong or bad because I want to make sure that I look right. I don't do that because that's crap. But a lot of people do, and this is how they work. Okay, so let's see what happens to fruits and veggies and cleaning. And let's see what happens to all the jobs out there, and the unemployment rate goes up because they count those jobs in the stats. Oh, God forbid we have an unemployment crisis and we can't fill the jobs because Americans too lazy to get off the couch.
You know what? My father used to pick beans when he was 7 years old. He had to work, and that's what he used to do: is go and pick the beans. I mean, and that back before child labor laws, but
yeah, I worked starting at like 9 because my parents did their best. They didn't have any money. I needed to buy a lot of my own stuff: school supplies, clothes, shoes, whatever. My grandmother helped. Blame shifting culture, accountability, the pathetic reality of, these widespread blame shifting, which just erodes the trust and community cohesion. There are a lot of detrimental effects of these behaviors on organizations, society, and relationships. So, on a positive note, because I am in actually an extremely good mood, and I'm grateful to feel this good today, I want to encourage you to do some self-reflection. Consider maybe a moment or two, oh man, I've done this back in the day, where you've deflected blame. And how might embracing accountability lead to some personal growth? Oh my gosh. And maybe some stronger relationships. Because I can tell you, I made bad decisions when I was a drinker, sucking out of that bottle and deciding to do things I shouldn't do, spend money I didn't have. And guess what? When I came clean to my family, they were pissed. But over time, my children came back to me. I'm so lucky. My mother, my father, when he was alive, I mean, they knew all this stuff. I was transparent. And so it's really a really good thing. You will grow if you stop shifting blame. I bet most of you don't do that, but I know some of you do, because I know some of the people who listen, and I know what they do. And I also want to repeat that email I sent out a week ago or whatever. I apologize if I offended you. I truly apologize. This is standard procedure. This is standard operating stuff, folks. A cancellation policy for a session? Really? Yeah. That's how it works.
Hey, we go to your doctor's office. We have a new policy. If you're 10, 15 minutes late without calling us, we can, have a session. The other day I was at the doctor's. I looked over to the right. They said that they have the right to reschedule you if you're 15 minutes late. That's a standard policy anywhere.
Yeah, one of the things we'll talk about next week, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to this next thing, is with Dr. Edie. We're going to talk about the disheartening state of a nation with abundant resources struggling with preventable health issues, and how recognizing it is the first step towards change. So I encourage small, manageable, actionable lifestyle changes. Start to eat a little bit different. It's hard to stop cold turkey. I'm one of those few people who can stop anything cold turkey if I decide to. But that's how I operate. Okay? And I also want to say that blame and narcissism has no place in healing spaces, because it totally negates principles of healing. So you can sue me if you don't like it. I want to talk about Laura again for a minute, because we're almost out, folks. We got to get going in a minute. Laura, thank you for your words of wisdom always. We're going to connect this week on the call. I don't know what day, but we will. And, I've learned so much from you. I've learned so much from my mother, my godmother, Teresa. Love you all. Miss my mom in heaven. I love you, and I miss you terribly. So, with that said, as Laura says, just live. Go out, There's trees out there with no leaves. They look beautiful to me because they're trees. I could see them. I get to see these trees. Wow, isn't that cool? 3 months we'll have buds on the trees, the blue skies, the beautiful clouds. But mostly blue. I mean, it's beautiful, right? We're almost done. We have to head out in a minute or two. We also talk about the opportunities we have every day, I'm so lucky I get to go to work. I get to work with you.
I get to work with you.
Karl, Rosemary, Laura. We love you.
I love all our clients.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone I didn't mention, because we got like 87 of them, I can't mention everything, but we're so lucky, aren't we?
Yes, we're very
It's so amazing. It's so amazing. And I get to work with these. Like, this isn't, I don't have to. Oh, I got to work with so-and-so. No, I get to.
Yeah.
What things do you get to do, folks, that you have formerly been thinking, oh, I got to do this, or I got to exercise? How about you get to exercise? Oh my gosh, you can move well enough to get off the couch and exercise? Holy cow. Praise the Lord. Okay, remember, no one's coming to save you. Nobody. You got to do it yourself. We're back next week. Dr. Georgia Edie. My name's Karl Sterling. You're listening to Your Health Matters with Elizabeth Brewster and me. We'll be back next week. News Radio 570 WSOR, also on 106.9 FM. Have a great week.
The proceeding was a paid program by Karl Sterling. The contents of this show is that of Karl Sterling and does not represent the views of the station or iHeartMedia.